Hello, hello, hello. This is Relax Radio from Kaleidoscope, and this is Olivia. Hi guys, how you doing? How's your morning? How's everything so far? All right. So, let's just have some conversations, okay? Let's just talk for a while. Let's just ease and talk and have some very light conversations. But also, let's also get back to the topic I promised to talk about, okay? So before that, let me just get back to some facts that you might like to know. So did you know that you can use willow bark for pain relief instead of aspirin? Maybe you would want to get your expertise's idea about this before you actually go and make a move on it. But apparently, the secret to pain relief may be in your backyard. For centuries, willow bark has been used as an alternative for aspirin. The active ingredient in the bark, salicyl, oh geez, turned to salicylic acid, ooh, and is more gentle on the stomach than over-the-counter aspirin. That sounds swell, but I don't know whether I would actually go for it and trust it wholeheartedly. So, apparently, did you know people rarely used to smile in photos? So, smiling in photos is said to have originated from the Kodak advertising scheme that focused on capturing moments of happiness with the product. Since then, it's been norm to grin into a camera. So, a study comparing the yearbook photos from 1905 to 2005 showed an increase of lip curvature over time. Sounds pretty cool if you think about it. I mean, it's pretty cool. It is. Okay, so as I promised, let's go back to what's happening. So let's talk about some art. Let's talk about some facts and art and things that will keep things going in the next couple of minutes. Okay, so now we spoke about Mona Lisa, and now we are going to talk about Salvator Mundi. So it's a painting by Da Vinci depicting Jesus Christ, one of the long lost Da Vinci pieces, right? So the auction of this masterpiece was record breaking and of $450 million. So the is a wealthy Saudi who worked on behalf of the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and was given the museum and it was given to the Museum of Abu Dhabi. Salvete Mundi, right? So the rumors spread around claiming the painting to be fake. Now, a lot of people claim it to be fake. So, it's again, it sounds like a conspiracy than the reality of it. So we'll never know, right? But I just don't think someone would actually purchase something for what $450 million. 300, yeah, $450 million, $450 million, I think. Yeah. The last time I checked, it was $450 million. So imagine purchasing that much, I mean, after paying that much, and imagine that your painting is fake. And I don't think it's fake, but it might be a conspiracy that's wafting around. Okay. So the painting is an oil on a walnut panel. So, Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi may have been painted for Louis the 12th of France and his consort. So, Anne of the Brittany says that it was probably commissioned around 1500, shortly after Louis conquered Milan and took control of Genoa in the Second Italian War. Leonardo himself moved from Milan to Florence in the 1500. Various copies of the painting were made by followers of Leonardo, including the pupil Salai. So the painting passed around by being acquired from one to another for centuries and was finally acquired by the Saudi representative for the highest price of roughly $400 million. Okay. But it was sold off at $450 million. So you can imagine the cost of it. So the painting kept resurfacing, which naturally questioned its authenticity. See, it kept going missing and it kept coming back because then this is why people are saying this is fake, because during a certain time period it went missing completely for about 300 odd years, and then it suddenly appeared out of nowhere, and this is why a lot of people are very confused, wondering as to whether the painting is actually real as it gets. Yeah, so also many experts have questioned the orb in Jesus Christ's left hand because it does not appear to magnify and invert the material behind it. See, if you Google the picture, um, which is Salvatore Mundi, you can see that the figure is holding a very thin orb, glass orb in between. If you look right at it very carefully, right, as it should see, they say that they can't see it right because as it should if it was a solid glass ball. The team of scientists at the University of California, they claim that this lack of distortion is caused by the fact that the glass orb depicted is hollow, not solid as previously thought. So, art historians have proposed several explanations as to why the orb Leonardo painted did not display the characteristics of a solid glass ball. So, they say that he deliberately depicted the orb inaccurately, though he also speculated the orb was hollow. Martin Kemp attributed the anomaly to small cavities found in some types of rock crystal and calcite, according to the UC Irvine team's paper. So what's fun about this is the fact that Da Vinci knew what he was doing. He knew that he was painting it in this way, that it wouldn't look as solid and as glassy as it should when it comes to the normal orb. But instead, he chose to bring out a naturally questioned authenticity because he has studied the art of optics so much that a normal person would think that he would have left documents behind in relation to the engineering of the aspects in relation to the orb between the palms of Jesus. So however, the picture depicts that it omits the distortion, and the artist was conscious about it, and by passing the natural law of optics, he says, and people say in general, experts say that Da Vinci meant to show the miraculous nature of his subject matter, and he never planned to portray a distortion of Jesus. That's so cool. Don't you think so? Like, just imagine, like, every aspect of the art is beautiful, and you leave people to question about the rest of the stuff that's there. And like, imagine just one orb, and people would look into it and wonder, why is this not as clear as it should be? And you wonder, okay, was it a problem? Was it because of the fact that it went missing? And these are a couple of aspects as to why people were very suspicious on whether it was real or not. And that itself, well, it poses a lot of questions, but I still think it's real. And the fact that it has such a unique perspective is the reason why people are so attracted towards it. And however, it must be known that although this was purchased by the representative of the Prince of Abu Dhabi, it was never showcased ever since. So it has been kept secret for so long, and people have been backlashing against it ever since. And apparently, some people believe that it's his preference where he doesn't want people to see it. But people also say that they may have destroyed it. So it's a matter of actually, well, doing an investigation, but we never know, right? So it's super interesting if you think about it. And there's so many good art pieces which have some crazy stories. And what the best part is, all of these are accessible to be read. But here I am, catering it to you on Relax Radio on Kaleidoscope. All right. So let's move on to another piece of art that I think is pretty intricate and has so much of meaning to it. So, one of the biggest and the best art pieces that is so popular is the Starry Night of Van Gogh, right? It's the pinnacle of his achievements. Unlike most of his works, the Starry Night was painted from memory and not out in the landscape. So the emphasis on interior, emotional life is clear in his swirling, tumultuous depiction of the sky. And here Van Gogh followed a strict principle of structure and composition in which the forms are distributed across the surface, right? And it just looks like something that looks very trippy if you think about it, because there are gifts that kind of gives the swirl effect of it that makes you look at it ever so carefully. And the result is a landscape rendered through curves and lines. It seems chaos, subverted by a rigorous formal arrangement, but a lot of people admire this structure and this composition for its intrinsic beauty, for its curves and just the naturalistic landscapes expressed in terms of multiple curves and squiggly lines. And it's just beautiful to see such brilliant ideas created back in the day and how people use it as inspiration to create further beautiful pieces down the line as well, and even in the contemporary century as well, right? And it's super cool. It's really, really, really cool if you think about it. Just imagine the time and effort you put to draw something so much that it just goes viral all around the world, and people respect both artists, Da Vinci and Van Gogh, so much that these arts are publicly available wherever you go. It's not the original, but it's still available. It's printed everywhere and anywhere. You can find it in memes on your social media, and you can also find detail about it wherever you type it. Yeah. So this is why I keep saying that art is an immeasurable practice that people should incorporate in their daily life. So it's something that moves your very soul, and it fires everything and gets things immeasurable to a point where it strings beauty, clarity, mastery, harmony, authenticity, sincerity, things we don't speak about that often, and perhaps will remain fundamental and largely private. This is where art takes place, that we use art to communicate about these things on a major scale. So we have some amazing music coming up, given that I'm done with the explanation to it, Salvatore Mundi, which I have more to explain when it comes to some other art pieces, but there's more to talk about other than the art stuff. Some interesting gossip, some music, and also some interesting facts and some jokes. Okay, so stay tuned and make sure to download our app, and also to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Okay, so stay tuned and enjoy the music. This is Kaleidoscope on Relax Radio.